All right, this workout is gonna be for opening and stabilizing the lower back and the core on the front side. Come on to your seated position here with the legs crossed. We're gonna inhale, open up the front, exhale, open up the back. So as we inhale, we arch. And with the exhales, we round. Make sure that as you inhale, you also draw in your shoulders back. And as you exhale, gently draw the shoulders forward. Maybe one or two more times. And then with an inhale, come back to neutral. Take your right hand, place it outside your left knee. Bring your left hand behind your back. Inhale, lengthen, getting extension through the thoracic spine. Exhale, twist, squeezing the obliques. Inhale, try to lift your heart, send the shoulders back. Exhale, twist, rotating at the navel. One more inhale to lengthen. Exhale to twist. And then we're gonna inhale back to center. Exhale, left hand outside the right knee, right hand behind the back. As we inhale, we lift the heart, arch the thoracic spine. Exhale, turning to the right side. Inhale, pressing the sit bones, heart forward, shoulders back. Exhale, rotating. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. And then inhale slowly back to center. We're gonna arch the back and then send the heart forward. Find the stretch on your hips first. We're gonna fold here, either coming to the hands or even down to the forearms, elbows. Release the head. Breathe into your back. Use your breath to open up the body. Let's walk the hands to the right, torso to the right, maybe the chin, the nose, or the forehead touch the knee. Everything heavy, big breaths here. We're going to do one more big breath in. Exhale, come back to center and to the left side. Arms, torso to the left, chin, nose, or forehead on the knee. Big breaths here. Breathing into the back, opening the low back with breath. Big breaths. One more inhale and exhale, bring it back to center. And then slowly, hands over the knees. One more time. Inhale to sit up straight. All right, let's go onto our knees here. We're gonna squeeze our knees together, big toes touching. Coming into a tall kneeling position, hands to the side of the hips. We're gonna send the hips back. And then send the hips forward. So we're integrating this hinge. The hinge sends the hips back, keeping the spine upright. And the hinge sends the hips forward. One more time. And then from the hinge position, step your right foot forward and find that balance on the hip. Heel slightly forward of the knee, even the hips. Bring first elevation, expansion, shoulders back, chest is big, and then we're going to send the knee back to stretch the hamstring. The hips go back with it, and the heart comes forward, trying to put a weight over the right leg. So we're reaching over the right leg. You could have your arms forward, but just pull your shoulders back so that you're not hunching and falling forward. Couple breaths here. And then simply we're going to take that right foot, bring it back next to the left, and switching now, we're going to hinge the hips and step that left foot forward. So we're staying with our knee and feet, knee and toes, everything in line with the hips. Standing up, or I guess uprighting the torso, and then sending the left knee back, the heart forward, the hips go back, the head goes back, but the heart goes forward, trying to put more weight over that left foot, making sure the big toe of the left foot is not popping off the ground, trying to keep the left knee open, out with the knee, down with the toe, even with the hips as much as possible, heart forward, knees straightening to find the hamstring, big breaths here. And then we're going to take that foot and step it back. And we're going to simply come to standing. Let's go feet wide, parallel to each other. Toes in, heels out. We're going to first squeeze your legs in towards each other. Heels drawing in towards each other, knees drawing in. We're closing through the adductors, the inner thigh. It's like we're riding a horse and we're squeezing our legs to hold on. The opposite of that is going to be pushing the heels away from each other and finding the tension now on the glutes, on the TFL, on the lateral side. Abduction, right? Pushing the heels away from each other. They're not moving. From here, we're hinging the hips back, finding more of our glute, making sure the spine is straight, and we're going to integrate. So hips go forward, hips go back. The whole time I'm squeezing out, as the hips go forward and the hips go back, my heels are pushing away from each other to find more hamstring, more glute. Never locking the knee, keep them fairly straight. One more time. Let's come back up vertical, squeezing again. Feel the inner thighs, adductors, and then spreading again, outer line abductors. Okay, from here, right foot forward, left foot back. Outer edges of the feet are parallel. Toes slightly in, heels slightly out, knees are straight, hips are squared three-dimensionally as best as possible. Torso opening, decompressing. We're gonna go into a lunge from here, and then a woodpecker. So we're feeling the glute and the hamstring on this right leg. We're breathing big. Shoulders stay back, head is pushing back off the ground, chin slightly in. Let's integrate here. So we're coming up, vertical, to at the hinge position, this woodpecker position. Press through the foot, come back up. We're feeling the hamstring loading, the glute loading on the right leg, and then pressing through that to bring yourself up vertical. One more time. And then we're gonna step forward, make sure your right hip stays firmly behind the left. So as we step here, we'll switch sides. Feet alignment, ankle alignment. Remember, same idea here. Knee out, toe down. Knee out, toe down on the front foot. Back foot pressure is fairly even. Hips are aligned, torso decompressing. Finding the hamstring through the hinge. Making sure when we hinge, our hips are staying straight and squared. We're gonna hold it here and then press to vertical. From the lunge to the hinge. More hamstring tension as you bring the weight over the foot. Less tension as you come out of it. More glute as you come into it. Less as you come out of it. One more time. Good. And we're going to step forward by hinging, pulling the left hip back a little bit and sending the right foot forward. Switch sides again. Left foot back, right foot forward. Same alignment. Outer edges, ankles, knees, pelvis, spine, shoulders back, into the hinge. Instead of doing the integration forward and back, we're gonna rotate here. So the hips are gonna turn. You can first keep your torso straight so that you feel the hips turning without the torso turning. We're gonna come back to center and make sure we're not going past it. We don't wanna open the hip of the back leg. We're gonna send the hip forward and down like we're trying to touch our left hip to the right knee. And instead of rotating with the torso, we're gonna keep our torso straight as the hips rotate. Back to center, into the rotation. Find a pace that works for you where you can tell that you're being precise and that you're not going past it or that you're not compensating by turning the torso. Let's try that one more time. Making sure you're staying with the hinge, that you're not coming up to vertical on it. Rotating, but on the hinge. Okay, and then from here, step forward. Left side. Upright. Feet, ankle, knee, hips, spine, shoulders, head, hinge, left hamstring, left glute, rotation, more of that left glute, not much change on the hamstring. Don't go past it as you come back to center. Re-square. Left knee out, big toe down, hips start even, then the right hip is crossing, pulling down, the left hip is trying to keep your torso aligned, shoulders pointing forward, come back to center, and find a pace that works for you. Where you're being precise, you're not compensating, you're certainly not coming out of balance or dropping your feet to the side. Do one more time. Come back to center. We're gonna step forward. And let's go into the wide stance again. Toes in, heels out. Big breath, squeeze in. Squeeze the heels towards each other. Knees towards each other. Adductors and then abductors pushing out. Heels, knees, hips pushing out. Hinge the hips back, hinge the hips forward, just a few times to reset. And we'll go on the ground. Face up. Chin to the chest, back of the neck long, shoulders on the ground. Big toes touching, knees touching. Breathe here. First, tuck and tilt, isolation of the low back. We tuck the tailbone, feel the lower abs, the hip flexors engaging, and then we tilt. We make a little arch on the low back, little bridge. We stretch the hip flexors and the abs.
Tuck presses the lumbar spine, the vertebrae, down to the ground. Tilt will lift the vertebrae up. Now we're going to keep the tuck the whole time. Tuck, tuck, tuck. Feel the tension in the front. And think about the neck section here at the ribs. We're going to pin the ribs. If you unpin the ribs, you start to feel your mid-back coming up. Pin the ribs. You feel now both the lower abs and the upper abs engaging. So we're going to tuck and we're going to pin. So now the entire lower back and thoracic are on the ground. We're going to tuck the chin in here. We're going to make some big breaths into the chest. And we're going to alternate. First, lift the head up. Tuck the chin. Don't lift too high. Maybe just like an inch or so. And try to keep your chin to the chest. Feel the front neck flexors. You're still pinning. You're still tucking. You're breathing here. Trying to keep that neck long, head low. Slowly lower down. Keep the chin in. Pin, tuck, and just lift the feet off the ground. And then breathe here. Feet off the ground. Tension on the front. Now it's more of the lower front side. The heels are also barely off the ground with the focus on the tucking and the pinning and the chin down. And then we're going to slowly lower down, and then let's lift the head again. Tuck, pin, chin, head lift. Try to lengthen through the spine. Keep the head really close to the ground. Try to get some length through the neck. Tuck and pin. Slowly lower the head. Tuck and pin, chin, and feet off the ground again. Couple more breaths. And then feet down. Keep the toes together, keep the knees together, open up the arms out to the side, palms face up, and with the toes touching and the knees touching, tuck the tailbone, lift the hips off the ground into a bridge. You don't have to come too high, just keep tucking the tailbone. Big breaths here. Take an inhale. Exhale, lower down, roll down the spine to the ground. And we'll just do a little mini Shavasana here. Straight legs out to the side and let go of the body. Let go of the breath. Heavy feet, heavy legs. Heavy torso, heavy arms, heavy head. Soften the jaw, soften the eyes, soften the forehead. Just a couple more breaths here. And then slowly move fingertips and toes, ankles and wrists. Take a big breath in, stretch your arms way back, stretch your legs forward, bend the knees, roll onto your side, and slowly, slowly take your time, either coming back to seated or up to stand.